Rakshanda.
Can you stop sharing so that I can share my screen?
Nitin, after introduction, formal welcome. Rakshanda, you can start.
I think you know me very well, and you can say whatever you want to. Like, no worries about that.
A very good morning to all. I welcome you all to day 3 of 1 week online faculty development program on skill development for employability and entrepreneurship, presented by Training and Placement Cell, Guru Jameshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar, and sponsored by All India Council for Technical Education. Corporate structure is well-organized structure that helps to organize different tasks at one place simultaneously. It is an important part of corporation because it determines the ownership, control, and authority of the organization. So, without any further delay, I would like to start the session by calling upon Assistant Director of Training and Placement Cell of Guru Jameshwar University, Hisar, Mr. Aditya Veer Singh, sir, to welcome our honorable speaker, Mr. Nitin Goyal. Sir, please.
Thank you, Rakshanda. Warm welcome to today's keynote speaker, Mr. Nitin Goyal, who's a young, dynamic entrepreneur and a very active person I have met. He's been associated with Guru Jameshwar University over the past many years, and he's been hiring a lot of students from Guru Jameshwar University. And we have seen he is very keen to take a lot of steps, positive steps in the betterment of the students. He has been guiding us about the course curriculum and the ways we can teach our students good coding concepts and all. So we are very lucky to have Mr. Nitin Goyal as an good industry partner with us. So currently he's a Chief Technical Officer in Repository, which is his own firm. So a warm welcome to our Director of Placement, Shri Pratap Singh Malik ji also. So let's start the session. I would like to call Mr. Nitin Goyal to come over the desk.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya ji. Thank you, everyone, for the nice introduction. I'm just sharing my screen. Today we are talking about like corporate structure, jargons, and expectation from freshers. I think one of the key part over here is the expectations from freshers, which is very important. So I will be giving out some my thoughts on how these things work, and you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
And you are able to see the presentation as well.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. So. My name is Nitin Goyal. I'm CTO at Repository Technologies Private Limited, and you can see me over here. You don't need to capture anything. Maybe in terms of the slides, video is being shared by Aditya ji already, and I will be sharing this presentation. I will be elaborating a little bit afterwards, but I will be sharing this on SlideShare or LinkedIn as well. Okay, so you guys can look at it over here. So to start with. I think one of the key things which we talk about is, just a second, I'm just getting a small. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm starting with the 3 major items which anybody is going about with their when they are in college and when they are doing things. So the structure of this presentation or my talk is that we are starting from where we should start and where we should end. The first thing which we are talking about is that there are 3 key steps or 3 most important items which we are talking about, and these are training, internship, and job or entrepreneurship. Like the final step is, everybody wants a job or everybody wants to go into business, make something by themselves, making a startup, starting a startup and growing over from there. So these are the three most important items which I will be talking about. And I think everybody knows about doing these, but the challenge is that right now, when we look at the resumes from various students, or like I'm talking about people who are starting up, they are not making resumes, but people who are not starting and going for jobs, we don't see these kind of things in the resumes as well. And that is where there is a big problem that the resumes are not shortlisted by the HR managers within the companies. Okay, so let me start with the first item, which is training. Okay, so let me go back and little bit, just for the sake of reference, everybody should understand what is the difference between all these three things. Training is something which you as a student do in your own time within your college, or if you are doing something which is out of curriculum from some institute, or from anybody outside the outside your university or college, and you are learning. Okay, and training is something like that. Internship is where you are applying your knowledge, acquired knowledge from training, and then going out for to internship, wherein you are working as a very junior guy. You are learning from the you are learning in terms of how companies work, but you are working on your own subject as well, right? So when you are working on your own subject, that means if you are a programmer, you know programming, and you are doing some work for the company. If you are a designer, you are making something. If you are an HR guy, you are doing recruitment or payroll and anything else. So that is what internship is about. Sometimes over here, people are different. People are not able to differentiate between training and internship. Okay, so that is a very important difference, and that has to be there. Job and entrepreneurship, I think everybody understands, so I will not delve into that. So what about training? So these are the key three steps. First is training, learn what you want to. Second, in internship, go to a boot camp kind of a place, or go to a company wherein you are using what you have to do, and then you are learning again, and then you are going to the job, because for the job you are now fully fully ready, or you can do that. Okay, so why we want to do these things in these three specific steps is also important, right? Because we all understand that there is a gap between the college curriculum as well as the things which are being used in the industry. Okay, and this gap is everywhere in the world. Do not blame Indian education system for that. Okay, for the students, I'm just saying that out loud, because we from the industry understand that college and university have their own place and have their own importance. Okay, and they are doing a great job in getting you where you want to. The thing is that right now the problem is the other parts are somewhere missing, wherein the students have to do a little bit extra because of this gap is everywhere. I have recruited US people as well. I have recruited people from Australia and England as well, and I have seen that those gaps over there as well. Okay, so do not think that these gaps only exist in Indian education system. No, these exist everywhere. The industry is moving too fast. The IT industry is moving too fast for any university. Okay, even if you go at Stanford or Harvard, or if you talk to some IITians, you will see that there is a gap between the college curriculum and the industry, and that is why these three things are necessary, which are apart from what you do at the college. Okay, So let me tell you how to get the training. Okay, so we will go actually backwards, but start first. Okay, you have to take the training first, but you have to look at the things which you require to get trained at. Okay, so the first key thing is start early. As you can see, in first year or second year, the faster you start, the better you get at, the more time you have, and you can maneuver a lot, you can learn a lot, you can experiment with a lot of technologies or a lot of areas. That also helps in finalizing what you want to become. You want to become an engineer or a designer or a network admin or a business analyst or a BBA or an HR manager. That depends upon you, right? So you can do those things. You can experiment a lot if you start from first year. If you start in fourth year, then it becomes a little bit difficult. Okay, so second, when you are trying to get trained, look for what stacks are in demand. Stack means a combination of multiple technologies which is used together to make something productive. Okay, so stack is a jargon, you can say, which is being used in the industry a lot, and that's what you should look at. So how do you get to look at? Because you are going backwards, you need to know in 2 or 3 years which technologies will be best, right? Where you can get the job, or if you are going for an entrepreneurship, you want to start a startup and make a product. That at that point of time, the latest technologies help a lot, because those latest technologies will make your life easier, will make the product faster, and make you more productive and make you more successful at the end of the day. Okay, so which stack is in demand? So what is our second step? Second step is internships. To get the internship, we need to know which stacks people work on, and why people give out internships. Companies like us, why they give out internships is because we find that if a person is interested in internship, the person is good enough, they are trying to do something from the college, within the college time, and they are prospective employees for us in the longer run. Okay, so, and then when you finalize the stack, then you can learn from websites. Like if it is in your curriculum, of course you can learn from the curriculum as well, but then you can learn from websites like Udemy, Pluralsight, Coursera, Code.org, Free Code Camp, and so on. Okay, so if you want, we can do a very small exercise to showcase what technologies are in demand right now. Shall we? Or yeah, okay. So I am just stopping my screen and stopping the share, and then I will be sharing again. Just a second. I hope you see my screen, right? Hello. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So this is a website which is very famous in India and which is like giving 10,000 plus internships for free. The only thing is that within Guru Chambeshwar University, we have found only one person applying to it through this site to our internship in last 1.5 years. Okay, so the students are not applying through Internshala, and I feel that's a very negative thing, so that people are not getting internships. Okay, and that guy is right now working with us. So we can say that internships are a successful thing to get a pre-placement offer as well. You can get a placement offer within your internship time as well. So this guy is already working with us. Okay, so I want to like popular categories. I just want to go to engineering. Okay, so because most of guys are here BTech MCA. Okay, I'm using it as a student, but I will show you here. There will be some advertisements as well, of course, right? But then software testing is there. Okay, so they are paying something. Okay, I'm just opening that. QA workflows, Ruby, Selenium, learning new tools, automation, SQL, basic operations, and REST. If I write those down, that is about end-to-end QA, Ruby, Selenium, and REST APIs. I'm just looking at the jargons. Okay? SQL is required, software testing is required. Okay, I'm just going back. I'm going for another one, which is software testing. Okay, they are talking about, again, I have to look at the jargons only. Okay, I don't need to look at everything from my perspective. Like I know a lot about internships and this industry, so that's why I'm not reading it completely. So this is a little bit abstract, right? And detect and track, this is a manual one. I suppose they do not need Ruby, Selenium, etc. And that's it. Okay, I'm going back again. So let me talk about testing was one. I'm changing my category to this, and sorry. Okay, so there are 1600 development internships available. Okay, student partner and all that. Okay, let me see this one. Okay, I can do something else as well. I can say, I want minimum stipend is 8,000 or minimum stipend is 10,000. Okay, so still 707 are available. Okay, web development and backend development and okay, Flutter development. Okay, let us open this one, which is the web development. This is in Mohali, of course, and this is like 3 months relevant skills and interest. They have not given any details in terms of technologies. Okay, so this is, I think, not much relevant for us, right? Again, I'm going for this one, development, full stack, client side, server side, but they have given a stack. Technologies we currently use include MERN, Bootstrap, React, Ionic, and SQL. Okay, so I can write that down. Okay, and I can do it something like this. MERN is not there. Okay, I will say React. Okay, so it is not allowing me to do that, but you can do it something separately. Okay, so again here, Unity app, Skylark drones. This is a drone company. What they need is HTML, CSS, Python, Django, Docker, REST API, React.js, Flask, and Vue.js. Okay, these are like things. I cannot click over here. You can see that. Okay, but there is a small thing which I can tell you, which is, do you still see my screen? Do you see the Google screen which I am showing right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I have done is that I have made a Google query, which is site saying Internshala, and I'm writing React.js over here. So I will see all the pages. They were not allowing me to look at the React.js only one. They were looking at web development. So I did React.js. So I see this is a React.js internship. This is React.js internship. Okay. So there are total 30,000 results, but so I can just look at that and I can see that if I talk about Angular, there are 119,000. Okay. If I look about Node.js, 99,000. Okay. Vue.js, 3,300. So Vue is not important at all, right? So 13,000. MongoDB is important, but of course, like this is, and if you are talking about MERN, these are the real ones, I suppose, like, 4,000, because there were total around 5,000 internships available, and there are 4,000 over here results, because the 18,000, 19,000, they must be coming from the older ones as well. Okay. So you can have a look at that. And if I talk about, Golang, there is only 1,000 results. Okay, so these are the most important things which you should look at. You should know how to run a Google query as well, search query as well. Okay. So this guy is giving this, and again he is talking about React, Flask, Python, Django, etc. So basically, what you did at the end of the day was that you found out what is important, which stacks you should go about, so that you can get a job or you can get to know the latest technologies. The end result is get to know the latest technologies. These technologies may go away in the next few years, but if you have good command on one technology, then you will have good command on the next set of technologies as well. Okay. So regarding internship, then once you are trained, go for an internship. Okay, I have not explained it a bit over here, but in the slide, but let me tell you, you should try to get into an internship which is hands-on. Hands-on means that you are adding some features in the application, or you are making a web design, you are making some social media designs, you are making something rather than you are managing something. There are internships where you have to just maintain, you are into maintenance, right? So try to get that. If you don't get an internship through Internshala, there are other websites as well over there, and you can talk to companies, local companies directly. You can visit them, you can talk to them, you can ask them if there are any internships available. People are happy to help if you are doing something. If you are not, they will certainly take a test, right? They will certainly conduct a test for you to get into an internship. So that is very important. Okay. And you are side by side building up your resume. Okay. So this slide was not, is about job or entrepreneurship, which we all understand what it is. Okay. Whenever going for a job, let me explain that you have to make a resume. You have to make a resume which stands out. You do not want to make a resume which is blank, okay, or which is not relevant. We were at Internshala itself, okay. Let me show you something. Oh, sorry, I have to log in. Okay, so I'm just showing you how things work at Internshala as well. I hope you are able to see my screen wherein I am into the dashboard of Internshala as well, right? Is my screen visible for Internship?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. So over here, I am like, this is a guy, this is a machine learning guy, this is a computer science engineering guy. Okay. I just want to see the full application. Okay. This is the full application. Okay. I can show you that. These were a couple of questions which we asked why you should be hired. I'm pretty confident I have the best candidate and all that. Yes, I am available. Okay. I think this is a canned response. He didn't talk about the technology which we were asking actually. So this guy is basically on Node.js, Android, React, etc. But we never asked for these technologies. We asked for Golang. He has a React.js to-do app, which is a basic application. Additional skills, looking for, you see this line. If we ask somebody, what are your additional skills? And they are telling me that I have all the skills you are looking for. How do we know what exactly their skills are? And are we talking about skills or are we talking about hobbies over here? Right? You see that this information is totally not necessary. We are talking about additional details on skills. We are not talking about, any hobbies and all that, right? So basically, like, triple ID Nagpur guy and all that, but I would suggest, to skip out this part because it has some information, Aditya-ji. You will have to, skip out this specific part. This has some personal information of that person, and we don't want to go, make that public. Okay. So this is basically, but there will be some things which are very, very like relevant as well. Like for example, this guy is from IIT Patna, and he's talking about, what he has done actually and what he wants to learn, and that's great as well, right? So you have to add relevant information into your resume and not irrelevant information, and that information should talk about your projects, your internships, and within the internship which project you did, what are your personal projects, what kind of training you have got. And now somebody will be able to understand, and your resume will look better, I would say, right? And when your resume will look better, that will mean that it has more chances of getting selected, whether you are going for a job or whether you are going for an internship, or whether you are going for a VC funding. You have made a startup, you have done something, and after that you have you are going for some kind of internship. Just give me a second. Somebody is at my door. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, so even if you want to get some kind of funding, if you have a good idea, you want to. Now, having an idea doesn't get you funding. You understand that? I think everybody understands that. Okay, so what happens is that when you go for, you have to make it. There were times when you had an idea and you will get a funding, but now you have to make it, get some traction on it. That means get some kind of business, or you have to showcase, you have to prove that people are interested in your idea and they want to use your product in terms of entrepreneurship. Then you will get some, money from VC to scale it or to increase your business and things like that. But to do all those things, first you will have to make your product. And if you have to make your product, then for that, you have to go through all those two things, training and internship as well, because you want to learn. Otherwise, you don't know how to make a product. And if you don't know how to make a product, then it means that no VC or no even angel investor will trust in you, and they will not be able to fund your startup. Same is with job. If you have proper internships and trainings and projects specified in the CV, then you can actually use it to your benefit, and you will immediately get a call from any of the companies you want to work with. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so I think so far these 3 steps are done. Now we will talk about how to make sure that, you know, what are the needs of the corporate, and how can you be the preferred candidate, what technologies and what things you can learn, and you can be a preferred candidate for the corporate. And I think the same thing happens. The corporate is actually a startup where you are trying to get a job, right? Or you want to start your own startup. Both things are similar. Okay. So what a basic corporate or a startup or will need is that software development engineers, we all understand that they will make the product. Designers, they will design the product. Social media executives, they will market the product. DevOps professional, this is development and operations professional. These are the guys who are deploying the product onto servers, managing the servers of the company. Network administration is local management of LAN within the thing. So I'm talking about all the technical roles. There is one role which is missing over here, which I have not added, which is business analyst. Business analysts are mostly MBAs or other kind of people who are like they can be technical plus, but they should have some business knowledge. So these are the key, I would say, roles, not the, I'm not talking about job description, but I'm talking about these are the roles which a person can have within the corporate or startups. Okay. So to get into a role of a software development engineer, what are the in-demand languages and stacks? I think we have seen that MERN was very important, and on Internshala, because that is most used as of now. Mean, wherein M starts for MongoDB or MySQL, E starts for Express, A means Angular, and R means React. Some people use Angular, some people use React, and N means Node.js. Okay. Other stacks, Python with React, PostgreSQL or MySQL. Flutter, again on the backend, you can have Node.js or Python, and some DB. These 3 DBs are most, I think, used: MongoDB, MySQL, and PostgreSQL. Golang, again with React on the front end side, or Angular on the front end side, and MongoDB, MySQL, or PostgreSQL on the back end. So these are like common things which we are being used. So some people do want to go to the .NET side. Over there, again, you will be using either SQL Server instead of MySQL, and then on the client side, Angular is used a lot, and on the server side, you will be using C#, which is for .NET development. Some tools, some important tools which are there, you should know that how to manage your code, which is Git, manage your product, that is tasks, task management, which is Jira. There are some others as well, but these are like, I think, industry standards. How to communicate in real time is via Slack, and Visual Studio Code is basically an IDE to program. Okay, so this is what software development engineers are doing. You should make a lot of projects, I suppose, and then go about it. When we are talking about designers, and I think this part is a little bit missing in our engineering curriculum, but because of the creativity side of it, right? These are creative designers. They will design websites. They will design mobile apps. They will design games and all those things. And these people are creative guys having exposure to computer science as well. Some people do sketching, some people do painting previous to the BTech life, and then they learn these tools, which is Photoshop, Illustrator, Dreamweaver, and After Effects. Adobe Suite, actually, Creative Cloud Suite is the one which is being used all over the industry. Apart from that, there are a couple of, or three, I missed one, InVision, and this is Figma, and this is Sketch. These are two new technologies, or two new tools which are being used by designers on as a whole. So if you want to become a designer, you should learn these. Social media executives are also very important nowadays. And the thing about social media is that everybody knows about the social media, but nobody knows how to actually use it. Okay. So, or I should say, very few people know how to use it. Because to be a social media executive, you have to do a lot of things simultaneously. One is the designing part. You have to design or create videos as well. Right? It is not that within the startup you don't need videos. I recently was listening to a pitch by a very good company, Indian startup, and they were using Instagram memes to market their product. They were making their own brand using Instagram memes because it is easy, because it can go viral, and it can get a lot of eyeballs on the product. And they were having a very good number of app downloads. More than 50 lakh downloads were there, and they did that with very less amount of money into marketing using Instagram memes and other kind of things. Okay, so but then for that you need to know how to design, basically, then the creative, and then use the products or the industry standard products which are omni-channel. Why I wrote omni-channel over here? Omni-channel means that one product, you put a post over here, and on this, like Hootsuite is one product. So you put a post over here and connect it to your Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and any other. And there are other social media platforms as well. So and it will post it everywhere, and it will also show you the analytics, how many people saw it on LinkedIn, how many people clicked it on LinkedIn, and how many people looked at it on Instagram, and how many people clicked it on Instagram. And all those kind of reports are most important, because when we talk about social media executives, when we think about social media, we only think about, right now, most of the students will only think about, how many views and how many clicks, that's it. But this data is also compared at the back of the mind. In the back offices, it is compared, like which type of post is generating more traffic for us, is getting more successful for us, and those kind of things are more important over there, right? And based on that, what next we will have to make is also important. So that is where the social media executives come in place. DevOps professionals are people who are deploying everything on server. If you have heard about it, most of the companies, most of the decent sized companies will have something called automated deployment. Automated deployment is again a jargon, and automated deployment means that whenever you submit your code, it is tested against the test cases, and the automated test cases. Those are all automatic, and the system will test against the test cases. And if everything is successful, then it will deploy it on server. That is, the code will go to production without any issues, or will go to any staging environment at least, without somebody touching, without somebody has to approve it, or without somebody has to deploy it specifically. Previously, before the DevOps professionals or automated deployment was there, the products are being deployed manually, and same thing happens in smaller companies as well, that manual deployments are part. Production deployments are mostly manual, but staging and development environment, there are multiple environments, just to be clear about that. Development environment is where developers test their work. Staging environment is where users or user acceptance testing is done by the people who are testers actually. And then you go to the production environment, which is the actual website, which is live environment. Okay, so DevOps professionals are solving a bigger problem, that how many servers are there? Multiple servers are being deployed. Scaling is important. That means, like, for example, if you are using a 2 GB RAM, 2 GB RAM server, and at one point of time you are getting a lot of users, then the RAM used will be high. And a good DevOps professional can do this thing, that when the RAM goes beyond 75%, one more server will go up again of 2 GB. Now there are 2 servers. Load is being balanced on both of them, and then this will, your website will not crash. That is what DevOps professionals will do, and they will also do that. It happens automatically without the need of any person. And they will program for it, and they will, make sure that it is happening without the need of any person actually, so that it can happen in night, it can happen in daytime, and the other side of it as well. If the traffic is too low, make sure that you are not using extra servers, so that you are saving money on that. That is also there. There are some common platforms which are being used. Amazon Web Services platform is the most famous one. Azure is by Microsoft. Google Cloud, Heroku, and Netlify are the ones which, as a student, you can use to learn and work on it. Okay. Network administrators, I think we have that kind of knowledge in the college as well, that what network administration people are doing. So there are a lot of things, and network administration and DevOps some things are in common as well, because image creation, backup management, antivirus, firewall are also part of DevOps, but those are on server side. While you are doing on the server side, and you are doing it in a soft environment, that means you are using a software to handle everything. On the LAN side, within the office, network administration within the office is what network admins are for. So these administrators will look at all the LAN, Wi-Fi, switches, routers, what are the device management techniques, so that nothing improper is being, or no virus is getting in the system, nothing improper, like movies are not being downloaded, right, within the office, and those kind of things. Image creation for backup, using the images to make sure that lowest downtime is there, and those kind of things are being done by network administrators. I think this, and you will find that the same kind of when I talk about Udemy and other Coursera and Pluralsight, these kind of sites where they are giving you courses, these are like very, very cheap courses which you can go through and do that, right? You can learn those things. Thank you, and I would like to take questions. That's why I have kept last half an hour. And before that, I will also show you how you see this thing? Is Udemy visible for you?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you. So I'm logged in. So in my learning, I have like a few things. Like I use these like within our company, I use these like this Node.js and all that. This specific, the complete 2022 boot camp is very important. I think this is a very simple course and to start with, and this is good. Then we use Flutter, Dart, Angular, React Native, Node React, JavaScript, Redux, complete this one. And then we also use something called, there is one more course for students. I would Pratik Narang it was, or Pratik Khanna it was. I just give me a second. Yeah, this course is very not this one, sorry. There are a couple of them by Coding Minutes. Yeah, data structure algorithms and essentials, this one. This is a very good course. I'm just recommending, and this is very cheap. If you are going to a college and sorry, if you are going to an outside institute and buying a course, I think it will cost you around not less than 10,000 bucks. Over here it is 360 bucks, and I think this is a good course. This guy is an IITian and he has very good credentials. All of this information which I am giving you is that basically you can learn and you can go to the industry and be a lot. Every course is, almost every course is right now 360 for 2 days. So this is due to Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So, and this course is, I think, more important. Also, second one, which is which I feel, sorry, this one, this is already with me, so I purchased it in 2020, so that is there, but this is also there, and you can do that. Two guys can purchase and they can share as well, and you can do all sort of things. So these are important, very good courses to go with. On SQL front, for any RDBMS, whether it is PostgreSQL or MySQL or SQL Server, you can use the SQL one, I suppose. I don't know which one is good one, but Cold Steel is a very good guy for SQL. I know that. Others I don't know about. So these kind of courses are like, I think this is a good one, like 61,000 ratings and 4.6 is the thing. And I know Cold Steel is a very good teacher. So you can learn these things over here as well. And this will certainly help you within your college curriculum as well. So that's what it is. So I have stopped sharing. I'm open to questions. If you have any questions regarding anything, please do ask. You can raise your hand, and I think Aditya ji can, or you can send it on chat, and we can answer from there. Read from there, and I will answer from there. You can send it on chat. Which platform is good for non-IT students? Okay, so the non-IT students, they want to get into IT. I think these are the same things. Udemy is there for people who want to start from scratch, and you can learn from there. Again, if you want a specific thing which is like, there should be some instructor who is helping you out and you are doing things, then there are things like there are institutes like Coding Blocks, Coding Ninja, which are there, and they will give you online course, because I understand we are in Nisar, and most of you guys are in Nisar and you are in college. So you can do it with Coding Ninja and Coding Blocks, or Coding Minutes, which I showed you on Udemy. They are very good. You can just message them and they will help you out as well. Okay, so yeah. And any other specific question, like for non-IT, if you want to, we don't think that IT and non-IT, if a person is a computer science guy or an electronics or a mechanical, it doesn't matter to a company. Why? Because we look at skills rather than degrees most of the time. Okay, you understand that when you go to if you have been to an NIT or IIT, like half of the trades are already allowed in Google or all those kind of companies. So degree doesn't degree matters in terms of what you have done in the degree, but your skills matter a lot more. Yeah, so you can put your questions in the chat.
Students, you can unmute also yourself and ask the relevant question. Say this is workshop, not your classroom that you have only to hear or listen. You should ask the question. Rakshanda, you can read the question which has come in the chat box.
Sir, Sandeep is asking for full stack development technologies are must.
Okay. So full stack development, there can be a couple of stacks in full stack development. As I showed you, MERN, which is Mongo, Express, React, Node. These are 4 technologies. That is why it is called a stack, like because it is a full stack. MongoDB is the database. On the back end, you are using Node.js. On the front end, you are using React. So this is a full stack. You can use Pern as Pern as well. Like instead of MongoDB, you are using PostgreSQL. Okay. And there is one more, which is Python. With Python, mostly people don't use Python in a stack or whole stack, but I think Python can also be used with MySQL, and then on the front end side, it will be React. So it would be like MRP or something like that. That would be the stack. So right now, the most famous one is MERN, I would say. The Mongo, Express, React, and Node is the most famous one. Okay. Next.
Yes, so Seema is asking, is digital marketing good option for career, or HR is better option for than DM?
See, this depends upon person to person actually. Yeah, if both of them are very good things to do. Digital marketing has its own pros and cons, and HR will have its own pros and cons. It depends upon your what you want to do or what you want to learn and you want to be in. But both are very good options there. Digital marketing is a little bit technical domain, semi-technical, I would say, right? Where you need to know how to make a video, how to edit a video, how to edit images and all those things as well. And you should be creative in terms of making memes or things like that. HR is more is less semi-technical than digital marketing, less technical than digital marketing. So you are using a less amount of technical products, but you are more into talking, you are more into discussion, you are more into counseling. You are, if you are into recruitment, you will be using some kind of product wherein you are getting all the resumes from the candidates. You have to manage those kind of things. You will have to talk to candidates to schedule everything, and then you will have to convince candidates to get it. Yeah. One of the guys, I think you missed, Rakshanda, was asking, you didn't include data science roles. Why? Okay, so I have not included data science roles because those are not the most, I want to go about the most important and most famous ones, right? If you find a data science internship on Internshala, you can do your own research. You will find that the number of internship is not even 1/10 of what MERN and Python have. Okay, so a data science, whether it is getting all the buzzword in news, it is always there in news. Data science is holy grail and all that, right? But if you become a programmer, data science is an extension to that only. If you are a developer, you can certainly do data science. But if you are a data science guy, you may not be able to become a developer. So I'm looking more towards like development side rather than into, I'm just asking you to learn more into development so that you can opt, because within the development side, there can be other things as well. You want to, I did not include database administrators. I did not say that you can become an HTML developer or a PSD developer or things like that. Why? Because those are very specific domains which you can go into after you do these basics, right? If you are doing Python, then you can certainly go for a data science role. So Python I have included because if you learn Python properly, then you can do both development and data science role into that. Okay. The next question is, what criteria or qualities Internshala wants mainly in it? Internshala is just like Amazon. Okay. So companies are posting their internships. You as a candidate will apply to that. Each company will have different requirement, different qualifications, because if you are going for a testing internship, they would want you to have attention to detail. If they want to go for Node.js, they want to have, you need to learn DSA. Somebody is going for machine learning, they need to have Python, right? So it depends upon internship to internship. I could not understand, Ankit, you are asking like mostly machine learning jobs are only for higher studies like IMTech or PhD students. I think yes and no. It depends upon what kind of internships you have gone through. If you have gone through good internships on machine learning, then you can get a job in machine learning at the BTech level as well. So that's why I was saying that, what happens is that people do not go with the trainings and internships and then try to go to job. They try to go directly to the job, and then they get to know that, this is for people who have more, more issues. You want more experience on that. And while being in college, the best way to get the experience is to get through internships. Where will we find value for money course for augmented reality and VR tech? Suggest some course. Okay, so I think that we can take offline, because AR and VR, I don't work on that, but I can certainly get some info from my contact group on AR and VR. But Udemy is a good place to start with because it is cheap, so you are not losing a lot of money and you are just getting into a AR VR. There are courses which thousands of reviews, and those reviews are not fake. Those are given by people who have purchased the course. Yeah. The next question is, which courses are in demand now as we are pursuing an MCA and looking for internship? I would suggest Python is in demand, MERN is in demand, Golang is in demand. I have not included two technologies specifically. One is .NET and one is PHP. Okay, you guys must have learned about both, and I have not included them. The reason behind that is we want the students to be getting the best opportunities. If you go through the PHP route or the .NET route, then you will land a job, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, you will not be making that kind of a good, monetary package. I would say, and maybe a good growth. You will have to learn something else to grow in the industry. For an MC guy, I would say MERN is the best thing right now. MongoDB Express React Node, the one which I showed you on Udemy, that course is good. Angela Yu, I can just write Angela Yu is the instructor name, and it is called Bootcamp 2022. I don't remember the exact name. I think Web Development Bootcamp rather than, yeah. Okay, this is the name. Having experience with HR, how one would go for MNCs to hire as an HR, like uplift ourselves as an HR. Okay. So if you want to become an HR executive, I think MBA is the way to go, because on the BTech level, people will refrain from hiring you as an HR. Why? Because you will not easily get an internship for an HR based on a BTech in computer science or electronics and communication or mechanical, right? They would want you to have some business knowledge, and they would want you to be I think there are major and minor in MBA. So minor in HR or major in HR will also, okay, you already have experience as an HR, but still it is harsh. Okay, so great. I think we can take it offline, Kajal. I suppose you can, directly connect with me. You can take my number from Aditya and we can talk, because then it depends upon person to person, what kind of experience you have and what kind of job you are looking for. Okay. Puneet Chaudhary, what is the necessary steps and skills required for a mechanical designer? Okay, a mechanical designer, you want to become a CAD and CAM designer, basically. Okay, so the same, I think you need to have more trainings on CAD and CAM. Again, Udemy and Coursera and other people will come to your help, and you can get the CAD and CAM training locally as well. Then go out for internships. Start with smaller companies who are looking for interns. They are always in need of people. Smaller companies will always need some people, because people learn at smaller companies and then go to the bigger companies, and that happens constantly. So you can go for the internship, and then you will learn more, and then you can get a job easily. Okay. Okay, Anisha is asking what is more important. I don't know if you joined earlier or not, but there are three things. Training is just to learn. Internship is for good projects, and then you go for a job. So both are important. And if you are losing on one of both of these two, then if you have not taken training and you are still having good internships, which is very difficult to get because with training you learn and then you apply your knowledge into internship, right? And in internship you will make a good project. Personal project is just okay, right? So that is internship projects are more important, I would say. So internships and projects within the internships are the most important thing.
Any other students having queries may ask now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Nitya.
Actually, sir, there are many things like we can do using Python, either its development or its security or its data science. So when it comes about a particular thing we have to choose, then it creates a little confusion कि कौन से रास्ते पे जाना चाहिए. एक particular decision लेना थोड़ा सा typical हो जाता है कि when we are good at Python, either we should opt for security or for development, or we should go for data science. So I just want a little suggestion from you for the same.
Okay, so think of it, अगर मैं आपकी जगह होता तो मैं क्या करता? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वुड मेक श्योर कि मुझे कंफर्म कैसे है कि पाइथन में मैं अच्छा हूं. ओके, वो कंफर्म करने के लिए मुझे इंटर्नशिप्स अप्लाई करनी पड़ेगी, टेस्ट देना पड़ेगा.
यस
राइट. अगर मुझे इंटर्नशिप, मैंने अब तीनों तरीके की इंटर्नशिप मिलती है, whether it is data science, whether it is development, or whether it is security. Okay, security is very difficult to get into. Let me tell you, you will not find maybe more than 10 security internships on Internshala.
Yes.
And Internshala is one of the top one of the top internship platforms in India. Okay, so security, there was a guy within GJU, Piyush Jindal, I think passed out of 2019, right? He wanted to get into security and he talked to me in the second year, and we discussed about it, and I told him that security, you will get into security only after 2 or 3 years of experience, actual job experience. So you start as a developer and then go into security, or you start as a data science guy and then go into security. It is never, unless and until you get a very good, there is one missing piece over here which is very relevant for the sake of security, I would say. If you have done something in security while being in college in an open source space, then you can get a job in security. Otherwise security is very difficult to get in. Okay, nobody will take a fresher for security unless they can sure shot say that, you know, we want to have this. Okay, now coming back to your question, you should try 3 internships. Why not try 3 internships? One for development, one for data science, one for security. If you can get these, and you can start working with that and, you know, grow over there. Then you learn what do you like, what do you get better, what you are actually better at. आपको समझना पड़ेगा ना कि मैं किस में अच्छा हूं. मुझे डेवलपमेंट अच्छे से आती है पाइथन में, या डाटा साइंस अच्छे से आती है, या सिक्योरिटी कैसे आती है. इंटर्नशिप वही बेनिफिट देती है. आप कॉलेज में रहते हुए इंटर्नशिप कर सकते हो. शाम को आपको अगर जस्ट टू से दैट what people in IIT, JP, you saw that जब मैंने आपको मेरा डैशबोर्ड दिखाया, IIT, JP, MIT, NIT, IIIT, everybody is looking out for internship. कॉलेज उनका भी चल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है उनका कॉलेज नहीं चलता, उनकी भी क्लासेस चलती है ना. So what they are doing, they are clearly telling कि मैं 4 घंटे काम करूंगा, शाम को 6 बजे से लेके रात के 10 बजे तक काम करूंगा. I will do an internship. Okay, and companies are okay with that if a person is disciplined and they want to work actually. Okay, so that ways in 1 year you can get, you know, 2 internships, and you do 2 internships. That internship is not for money. That internships are most important for the fact that you learn कि मुझे क्या आता है और मैं आगे कैसे अप्लाई करूं.
Yes.
People think internship for stipend or for job, but not about self reflection कि मुझे क्या आता है वो समझ में आएगा तो मैं आगे और अच्छे कर सकूंगा. They don't do that. Okay, so go into internships, multiple internships. If you are in third year, then you can go for 4 internships within third year and fourth year, and then you can do that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Ankit Dubey is asking how to get a job in MNC if your score is less than 60% in 12th class. Okay. This notion of MNC is like very difficult to understand. Okay. What is a multinational company? Is TCS a multinational company? If anybody knows that. Can anyone tell me, yes, okay. Why? Because it started in India and it has offices in US and all that, right? Now, what about a company like a smaller company? Let us take a smaller company name which is known, maybe. Has anyone heard of Nazara Technologies? Nazara, Nazara. Nazara Technologies. They recently had an IPO. They were very much in news, so that's why I am asking. Oh, anybody has heard of Flipkart? I think everybody has heard of Flipkart, right? So Flipkart is not an MNC. They are in India only. Now, would you like to go in Flipkart or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let me tell you one thing. MNC is just a myth. Okay. What you call MNC, every company is an MNC right now. A small company which is in Hisar or maybe Gurgaon or maybe in Sirsa or maybe in Bathinda. I'm not talking about bigger cities. I'm talking about smaller cities deliberately, or even in Barwala. They may be working for international clients. Then it becomes an MNC. Previously, आज से 15 साल पहले या 20 साल पहले ऐसा होता था कि बाहर की कोई कंपनी होती थी, उसी को इंटरनेशनल क्लाइंट मिलते थे और वो इंडिया में अपना ऑफिस खोलते थे. Those were called MNCs, but nowadays every company is an MNC. So that is one. Now coming back to the question कि 60% से 12th में कम है तो क्या करें? Okay, I don't think it matters a lot. If you have good skills, any company will. You start with any company which is not. See, government you cannot change. In the government, if they ask for 60%, you cannot change it. But in private structure, if you want to go for a job, आप किसी बड़ी कंपनी से ना स्टार्ट करके ऐसी कंपनी से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं जो 60% पे एडमेंट नहीं है. अगर कंपनी 60% में एडमेंट नहीं है और आपको जॉब दे रही है, यू शुड स्टार्ट विद इट. 1-1.5 साल बाद यू कैन, या आई थिंक आई शुड से 3 साल बाद, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि 3 साल तक पहले फर्स्ट कंपनी में, अगर वो कंपनी सही है, आपको लर्निंग दे रही है तो काम करना चाहिए. 3 साल बाद go to another company, they will not even ask your percentage. Google भी नहीं पूछती है. If you want a job in Google as a fresher, वो बिल्कुल पूछेंगे आपका क्या परसेंटेज है. जो क्यों पूछेंगे? क्योंकि उनको जिस तरीके का मैथमेटिक्स चाहिए वो आपको आता ही नहीं होगा. अगर आपके 12th में 60% से कम है तो आपको आता ही नहीं होगा. इनफैक्ट 80% पे भी वो चैलेंजेस आते हैं. लेकिन अगर आप सेकंड एज अ सेकंड जॉब करेंगे तो वो आपको कंपैरेटिवली इजी रहेगा. दे विल सी 2 थिंग्स. जब आप सेकंड जॉब में अगर आप किसी बड़ी कंपनी में जाएंगे, दे विल सी 2 थिंग्स. आपके बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट जॉब चेंजेस नहीं होने चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपने 1 साल या 1.5 साल के अंदर आपने जॉब चेंज किया और आप फिर दूसरी में चले गए, फिर आप तीसरी में चले गए, फिर आप फोर्थ में चले गए, एंड उसके बाद जब आप वहां पहुंचेंगे तो पहला सवाल ये होगा कि आप हर साल या हर दूसरे साल आप जॉब चेंज कर रहे हैं, क्यों? कंपनी आपको समझ में नहीं आ रही थी, आपको क्या इश्यूज थे, दे विल सर्टेनली आस्क यू, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू एक्सप्लेन इट प्रॉपर्ली, अगर आपने 3 कंपनियां की हैं और 3 कंपनियों में आप हर बार ये बोल रहे हो कि सब में इश्यूज थे, दैट मीन्स ऑलरेडी आप में इशू है मोस्ट प्रोबेबली. तो ट्राई टू बी इन अ जॉब फॉर at least 1.5 2 years, sorry, at least 2 years, I would say at least 2 years, and it would be better to have it 3 years. क्योंकि 1-1.5 साल में अगर आप कंपनी चेंज करते हो तो बिगर कंपनीज विल ऑलवेज आस्क दैट कि क्यों कर रहे हो आप चेंज. ठीक है, द काइंड ऑफ कंपनीज पीपल जनरली वांट टू गो टू, कि हम गूगल में जाना चाहते हैं, फेसबुक में जाना चाहते हैं, वो जरूर पूछेंगे. अगर आप किसी छोटी कंपनी में जाना चाहोगे वो फिर नहीं पूछेंगे. बट बाय एमएनसी मुझे ऐसा ही लग रहा था कि उनका मतलब ये है कि मैं किसी बड़ी कंपनी में काम करना चाहता हूँ. And I can tell you one more thing I can tell you from my experience. I feel smaller or mid-level companies have more growth than bigger companies. In bigger companies, you are a small gear in the whole system. You are very small in the whole system. But in the smaller company, you are doing a bigger chunk of work, and then that means you are learning a lot. I can tell you, like my juniors, my people who started with me as my juniors, they are everywhere. Google, Facebook, Oracle, Microsoft, Flipkart, Amazon, and they still talk about it कि हमने छोटी कंपनी से स्टार्ट किया तो वी वर बेटर ऑफ रादर देन, क्योंकि उनका कॉलेज उस टाइम में इंटरनेट इतना नहीं था, इंटर्नशाला जैसी इंटर्नशिप्स नहीं मिलती थी, सब कुछ बहुत डिफिकल्ट था कंपैरेटिवली आज से 10 साल पहले. तो दे आर सेइंग कि हाँ मेरे कॉलेज में तो प्लेसमेंट ही नहीं आती थी, और टीसीएस जैसी कंपनीज जिस कॉलेज में जाती थी वहीं से लेती थी, और वो हमारे कॉलेज में नहीं आती थी. तो आई स्टार्टेड विद अ स्मॉलर कंपनी, एंड दैट वाज अ गुड डिसीजन आई मेड. अदरवाइज I wouldn't have learned so much, and over the time I couldn't have gotten into Google or Amazon or Facebook, right? That is there. So start with learning. I think बहुत सारी मूवीज ने, इंडियन मूवीज ने ये वाली बात, और बहुत सारे इंडियन बड़े बड़े experienced people like APJ Abdul Kalam, or on the other hand a movie like 3 Idiots will say that learn and think about learning, not about earning, right? If you learn good, then it doesn't matter if you are at a smaller company or a bigger company.
Thank you so
We are
much, sir.
coming to an end, I suppose. So
Yes, sir.
if you have any questions, please ask. We have 3 or 4 minutes. 3 minutes, I suppose.
Okay. So I think most of the questions asked by has been answered by Mr. Nitin Goyal ji. Thank you for this highly knowledgeable session. Yeah. So thank you very much, Nitin ji, for enlightening our students with your vast experience and guiding them for their future endeavors. And I hope most of the participants will inculcate these things which you have told them, and they will be there for their bright future. So thank you once again for accepting our invitation for speaking on this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nitin ji.
Thank you, Pradhabi. Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you very much.
Sir, all students are requested to switch on their camera for group picture.
पानी पिला दो।
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. Thank you, Nitin ji.
Thank you. Bye.
See you soon again.
Bye.
Bye.